Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the globe. This is Office Hours and VTEX Developers YouTube channel. How are you feeling, Alex?
Yes, I'm feeling pretty good. Excited to be here. So yeah, let's get going.
All right. If you don't know what this is, we'll explain it to you in no time. But let me just start adding these slides to the transmission and just saying who I am. Okay, so my name is George. I'm at VTEX taking care of education and documentation. So my team is the ones responsible for the instruction manuals you see online. So Help Center, Developer Portal, everything that's focused on helping you get your job done every day. And now I'm with this team of awesome people, software developers, and who are working every day to build a platform to make sure that we're bringing the best content for you on YouTube as well. So Larissa, Vito, and Erica have been working with me here in the YouTube channel for the past 2 months with Office Hours Brazil and Latin America. But this is the first VTEX Office Hours Global, and Alex is here to help us with the global event. So Alex, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you like to do.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm Alex Tassetti. I am a software engineer here at VTEX. I've been in the company for almost a year now, and I recently moved to working in this new area we're calling developer advocacy for VTEX IO. I've actually worked at VTEX before between 2012 and 2014, and then I left and came to the UK where I live today. Outside of work, I like cooking and I have loads of cookbooks, and I watch far too many YouTube videos about cooking. I also have a two-year-old son who's in the room next to mine. So if he wakes up and makes some noise in the background, I apologize in advance. I guess that's it about me. Back to you, George.
Yeah, I think if your kid comes up, we'll have a new meme in the internet, and that'll be a lot of fun.
The new BBC, yeah. Not looking forward to that, but prepared for it when it comes.
What's your kid's name?
It's Nicholas. Yeah, call him Nico.
Cool. All right, so let's keep going, and I'll take some time just to explain what Office Hours is. So I'll take you off the screen for a sec, and just say this is an event that's split in 3 parts. Okay, so every month we'll have global Office Hours, and we'll have the first segment, which is announcements. That's where we'll bring you the latest and greatest information about our product, things that you need to know about, breaking changes, new features, everything you need to know to keep evolving your use of our platform. And this second part, Ask the Community, is what I'm really excited about. So we have this Stack Overflow of sorts, community.vtex.com. And if you don't know it, that's where developers and users come around and share their knowledge with others. So that's where you can ask your questions, get them answered, and just really connect with people who are using your product every day. I'm there all the time, so you'll see my faces there. And this is the segment where we'll bring these questions to YouTube and we'll answer them live. So if you're excited about seeing, someone explaining it to you in words, that's where you should be looking to. And the last part, last but not least, we have demo time, which is a place for us to, showcase what the great work you've been doing every day with VTEX. So if you develop a really interesting app or integration, or if you're really proud of how your website is doing on VTEX, you can sign up and present something cool to the community. We've been seeing in the past, Chrome extensions, VS Code, IntelliSense. I've seen NPM packages that people have been working on, which are, a great contribution to the community and a great way for you to show what you've been doing and what you're proud of. So in the end, what our community team is looking forward to is to share knowledge, right? This is a way for us to achieve scalability, to bring new opportunities for us and for you on the other side of the screen. And for in the end of the day, for us to be able to connect to each other as human beings, right? We're not just VTEX and all these other brands that are out there working with us. We're George and Alex and, Johnny, everyone working every day, working hard to, bring that digital commerce experience to our customers. So really excited to see Office Hours play out. And this is an event, from you and to you. We're always trying to bring more faces here. So looking forward to see more of you watching and presenting here in office hours. So that's about it for me, Alex. I'll let you keep going with the show as the host. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you very much, George. I'll take it from here. So, as George mentioned, we'll start with announcements, and then for the first one, I'll hand over to Mariana, who's going to tell us a little bit about the new variable for the Google Tag Manager app. So, over to you, Mariana.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. So the first announcement is about this new variable, original refer. So just to understand the context, before to persist campaign data throughout a user session, we already have added the original location variable, but to the app, to the VTEX Google Tag Manager app. But the Google Analytics could not identify and maintain the campaign data if the user, for example, came from a Google search and didn't have explicit in the URL the UTM source. So now with this new variable, original refer, the Google Analytics can identify and maintain the campaign data since the first login of this user to their checkout navigation. And you can check more about this variable and also the original location and the Google Tag Manager app in our technical documentation. And for our second announcement is about the ending of the technical support of the Styles Builder version 1. So it will end, this technical support will end in February 2nd of this year, 2022. And why we are ending this? Because the Styles Builder version 1 has been deprecated since December of 2019. And we already have the new major of this builder, the Styles Builder version 2. And it's far more better for store stability when you're working with CSS handles customization and can avoid potential breakdowns in your store's layout. And what can you do now after this big announcement here, this breaking changing? You can migrate from your Styles Builder version. You just go to your application manifest.json, and in Styles Builder, you change from version 1 to version 2, and also check the documentation of best practice of CSS handles to review and update all the CSS customizations of your store's elements. And my third announcement of today is about a new app, Availability Notify. So this app shows a subscription form when a product, an SKU product, is not available in your store, and the form lets customers to subscribe to get notified when this item gets back in stock. So the app records this notification and start monitoring the inventory, your catalog inventory, to see if this product is back in stock. If it is back in stock, it triggers automatically an email to the shoppers who ask it to be notified. Maybe you can relate this app to another component that we have in VTEX, that is Let Me Know. But the Let Me Know didn't have this feature that sends automatically email to the shoppers to be notified. And for more information of this app and also how can you install it and how can you set up in your store, you can check our technical documentation in the developer portal. And Alex, that's it from me for today.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mariana, for your clear and thorough explanations. I quite like the announcement, especially the last one. As an avid shopper, I'm always looking at this feature when I see that some product is out of stock. So happy to see that our stores will be able to use that more easily now.
Yes, that's really great. Thank you so much, guys.
Perfect. Thank you. Next up, we have Pedro, who's going to talk to us about the improvement in the first installment payment discount configuration. Over to you, Pedro.
Hey, Alex. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. So, as many of you already probably know, VTEX allows stores to configure discounts for order prepaid in full. So, in order to do this, you must set a specific parameter in the checkout configuration, which is payment system to check first installment. Well, until recently, the only way you had to do this was by contacting VTEX support and asking them to change this configuration for you. But now any store can set it directly using the checkout configuration API request. And it's very simple. You only need to send the payment system ID of the payment system that you want this configuration to be applied to. And this ID is a string, and the only thing you have to remember is this configuration receives only one payment system. I guess that's it. I hope you have a good time configuring discounts prepaid in full for your stores.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your contribution, Pedro. All right, so this is not everything that's changed. So if you want to see what's new, make sure to check out our changelog by going to the developers.vtex.com/changelog. So you can find out all the updates in there. Cool. So for the next section of our office hours, we're going to go to the Ask the Community. So this is the chance you have to feature one of your questions for us to answer it live here, or to at least comment them live. So today we're going to have George, who's going to go through a few of the questions and answers from the community website. Over to you, George.
Thanks, Alex. I'll give you some time off the screen, so let me just stay here on my own. And today we have 3 questions just to get us started in office hours. So the first one is, how can I download current theme files? Ren, so thank you, Ren, for your question. Ren asked if, he is working with a store and there's a theme that's already created. He wanted to be able to access the files that are already deployed to his store and, modify it. And he said, can I do that? Can I download what's on the master workspace to my computer? And I was actually the one who answered that question. And unfortunately, that's not possible. So the way things work with VTEX.io is that once you deploy your code as an app, let's say you publish it, something that happens is you get a bundle. You get an app bundle, and it's sent to this thing called the app registry in our infrastructure. So once it's there, it's minified, it's bundled in a way that can be distributed to other stores, including your own. But we don't do version control. We're not replacing GitHub or any other Git server. So in the end, what you can do and you should do is just figure out where the source code is for the store theme. So we're not maintaining that for our customers or partners. So in the end, it's more of a human problem. It's about figuring out who was working on that store theme before and moving ahead from that. So yeah, there's no way to do that. But it's good to know so you don't keep looking. Like, you install the VTEX CLI, you create a new workspace, you did all that work, but you can't keep going from an app that's already installed. That's also a way for us to protect the source code of apps that are distributed to our many stores, right? Could you imagine if just installing an app would give you source code access? Then you wouldn't be able to distribute your own, utilities that are sold through the App Store without compromising your source code. So that's the way we found, just to split these concerns. Right, Ren? So thanks for your question. And I'll move on to the second one, which is page title coming undefined in the PLP. So Mohit is a very participative member of our community. So Mohit, thanks for your question and for all the answers you gave in the past few months. He asked, so how can we set the page tab title in the PLP page as a default is coming undefined? And how can I do that? And what's the workaround? There's a screenshot. So what he said is there's a search page, right? The PLP, the product listing page. And this title here that, in HTML is super easy to define. You just say like the title tag in HTML, and it's saying undefined for whatever reason. And he didn't really understand why. So why was that happening? And what I told him is, in general, for store framework stores, that is set into in the admin-cms-store menu. So for instance, in this demo store I have, this is what was showing up for me. So there's a tab that says general, and there's store name, default title tag, and so on. And those are the metadata that get inserted into your code to show the title there. So he said that this was empty for him. And that made sense, right? Because if that is empty there, then the dynamic part of the title for PLP, the search that's actually being inserted is Crow, right? In that case that he was saying. So Crow is whatever was searched for, and he wanted Crow to show up there. That's dynamic, and that's fine. But then we already have code that's in our base scene that adds the name of the store there. That's usual SEO kind of technique, right? So the Crow portion was there, but he wanted the store name to show up. And since it was empty, of course that would be undefined, right? If you have a variable that's undefined, then it defaults to undefined in JavaScript. And then I kind of share this this store repository in VTEX apps. And if you're not aware, in GitHub, we have the VTEX apps org that is super helpful for you to find source code that, for stores, for apps. So it's a great place to learn from what other people do and from open source. But then there's this code segment that shows us exactly what is done. So if there's a title tag, it'll decode the title tag. Otherwise, it'll catch and do this other thing. But in the end, there's store title here, and the store title is what's defined in that other page. That's interesting. And then he was saying, like, I appreciate it, but I don't understand it 100%. And why is that this way? Because he wanted it to be a little different. And finally, we closed the discussion saying, hey, why did we do it as a default, right? Why don't we let you define the title on your own manually? And it's more like it's a best practice for search engines. I shared this reference by Neil Patel, really well-known SEO specialist. And usually for PLPs, that's what you want, right? The search name and then your store name. And of course, you can override it, like create a new version of that app or fork it, do something, whatever else. But for his issue, is actually a pretty simple solution. Just fill in the store settings. So don't forget that metadata is available on your admin page, and that should be filled in so that you're able to, have the proper titles and have the proper, everything working on your store. Now to the last question from Ask the Community, this edition of Global Office Hours. So let's see his full name, Yael. So Yael also, I think he's in Asia. Thanks, Yael, for your question. You also have been very participative in the community. Look forward to more people participating. And Yael asked, how can I find when clients signed up to the store? So he's looking at master data. So master data is where we store a bunch of things in VTEX, including client information. And he wasn't able to find out where he could find when the client first signed up. So a customer went in through checkout and signed up and bought something. And now we have a customer record in master data, but he wasn't really able to figure out where can I find out the sign up date. He looked at the created in column, but generally seemed like it was the right place to look at. And he wanted to match that with Google Analytics. And there's this dash registration page in his store, and it didn't really match. So what I kind of tried to reinforce to him was that it is in the created in field of master data, and for you to be able to access customer information, it's very important to use master data v1. And I did that when I went to a test store and I signed up myself. I looked for the first time I signed up with my personal email on my test account and returned this value, which made sense. So that discussion kind of stopped there. I guess it wasn't the confirmation he needed, but we can always keep following up with questions. So usually a question won't be answered right away. It's really important for you to give the full information, to keep following up, for you to make sure that your question is answered fully. But the important thing here is you need master data v1 to get customer data. Created in is the right place for you to find when a customer first signed up. And when you have that request for master data, it's super, super, super important for you to add this parameter underscore fields for the right information to come in. So maybe what he was missing was the created in field wasn't even coming through the API because he was confused about having to define fields. So if you don't set any fields, it won't default to all. It will default to none, which is unfortunate. But if you want to get all fields that are stored in master data, you can always do this, right? Underscore fields equals underscore all, and then you have the full data structure for that customer, no matter what's stored there. So also, just last comment about customer data. It's super important for you to recognize or realize that in VTEX, we have Smart Checkout. And what Smart Checkout does for our customers is there's no need for a formal sign-up process. So the fact that this store specifically had a dash registration page might be misleading because, in fact, well, in general, the created in field will only be filled in when a customer first purchases something. So the way things work is you're in a store for the first time, you add your email, you add your information, check out really quickly. And once you've made your first purchase, that's when your profile information is stored in master data. So that might be one reason why this, going to the registration page versus the created in date and time might not be exactly the same. But that's something that we need to dive deeper into. Yeah, if you're listening, let's keep the discussion going. And just to make sure everyone is on the same page with what I'm talking about here, community.vtex.com is where these questions are asked. Okay, so it's free to participate. You can create your own account, and there's a bunch of categories here: e-commerce and business, where you can talk about admin usage, app development. If you're doing custom components or plug and play apps for the App Store, you can talk about integrations and API, store development. We even have courses you can learn VTEX.io. And if you speak other languages like Spanish or French or Romanian or Japanese, you can ask questions in your own language in this category. But in general, we're gearing this community to be English first, and I'll always be around there to greet you, to answer your questions. Or if I don't have the answers, I don't have all the answers, I can find someone that will help you either in the community or in our team. That's where you can find new faces. So please join us in VTEX Community. It'll be really awesome to see you there.
Great, George. Thank you very much. I quite like this format. It feels like I'm watching a director's cut version of a movie. It adds a whole new layer of information to those interactions there. So I really encourage you to add the office hours tag to your question to have it kind of dissected in here by someone from the VTEX team. So make sure to...
and if it's not answered, it's at least an incentive for us to give extra attention to it and make sure it gets answered. So
exactly,
get it,
I think
get it presented live and also get our attention to find someone to help you out, right?
Yes, I think the more difficult the question, the better. I think this is what we're looking for: very gnarly problems to solve and address. So
everyone will learn together.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. All right. So I'll get out of the screen.
All right. Okay. So moving on, we have the last section, which is the demo time. Unfortunately, today we don't have a demo because this is the space where we want people from the community to come and jump in and contribute. So if you would like to present a demo about something you've created or something you had to solve that was difficult and you think other people would benefit from knowing, make sure to fill in our form in the community.vtex.com/office hours global. and then we'll get in touch with you and arrange everything for a nice demo here in this section. So yeah, hopefully next time we'll have one demo, and this is all for today. If you'd like to be informed when we have new videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You can click the little bell icon to get notified when we release new videos or when we schedule new lives like this one. Well, with that, I will say goodbye and until next time.